So we got my 5-step formula to 10x your savings in under a year. And that's without making 7 figures, knowing bank lingo, or being good with numbers. Because, like I said before, not many people know bank lingo, and it's just a headache. So there we go. So you're in the right place for this if you'd like to experience 10 timings level of growth in your mindset and your bank account. You're tired of social media gurus pushing tactics down your throat that simply don't work or contradict every other guru out there. Because let's be honest, one person says something about finances, and then 5 seconds later, someone else is saying something else. And it's exhausting. And you've been working toward building a savings account for months or even years, and it just feels unattainable. So, in the next 45 to an hour, I am going to be showing you my keys to growing both a savings account and a financial mindset that will get you 10x financial growth in under 12 months. I'll show you the biggest mistakes millennials make when growing their savings. I'll reveal how step number 4 helps you stress less so you can shop without restrictions, and you'll understand why it's vital to get clear on precisely what you want with your savings and how to talk about it in a way that magnetically attracts your dream finances. You will also stop wondering if saving is possible and start making it all happen. I'll show you what you need to do that feels aligned and intuitive to you, and I'll show you how it's easy to save 10x while stressing less because, life is hell some days and we all could use less stress. So, my promise to you, I'm going to show you the exact steps I took personally to create a savings account worth 10 times my initial investment in less than 12 months. And here's the deal. So saving 10,000 a year, which sounds like a lot to some people it doesn't, and whatever your 10x number is, it is not elusive, impossible numbers to achieve for an emergency savings fund. Most millennials, even those with incomes well above 100,000, don't save nearly that much because I like numbers, and 37% of people who make over 250,000 a year live paycheck to paycheck, which is ridiculous to me. And results start with a strong vision and belief in what's possible, followed by serious action and the support of a mentor. So I'm not here to pitch a sale, but I need you to pay close attention and take notes. So that means turn off all distractions and give this 100% of your attention. Does this sound familiar? No matter what you do or how much you save, you never seem to be able to save enough. You're confused by what's working and what isn't in the world of savings today because, like I said, the gurus are always going back and forth, and you feel bad because you haven't been able to make cookie cutter systems work for you in the past. You're sick of not having enough time with your family or the money to live the lifestyle you desire. You struggle with staying consistent in your mindset growth efforts because you just don't know what to do. You're confused and overwhelmed by the constant and contradictory information that keeps coming at you. Again, gurus. You feel like after so many years of hard work, savings should be much easier and you should have way more money. Well, if you ever thought if you could just make more money, only buy from thrift stores, get out of debt, then you'll save, win the lottery. Because, when it gets over that $1 billion mark, who doesn't think they could win it? Get that raise or promotion that you've been promised, wait for the perfect storm of everything coming together. But the truth is, no one has shown you the 5 steps I'm about to share with you. Once you master these 5 steps, you'll look back at the time when 10,000 seemed like a pipe dream with a smile and laugh because you'll have achieved it over and over again. Because that's the thing, like the steps that I'm giving you, you can keep implementing over and over again. and you'll know exactly what to do to create a savings that earns you even more money. You'll never worry about an emergency popping up because you'll have a fund to cover it, which most people can't cover a $300 emergency. And once you actually start doing what I'm about to teach you, you'll actually be excited about savings because you'll know your efforts are going to produce results. You'll have more time to spend with your family and more money to do things you deeply desire to do while enjoying them with them. And you'll start seeing money come in ways that you didn't think possible. What you need to know: there are 5 keys to 10x your savings account in under a year. So let me introduce myself if you don't know me by now. So I am a serial entrepreneur. I started my first company in 2015 called Kane's Jerky. It is a organic beef jerky, which I still do today, but just not as much. I am a financial mindset coach, writer, and creator. I am an animal mom. For anyone who knows me, you know I'm a crazy cat person, and we have our Rottweiler Riker. And a couple years ago, I rescued 4 baby squirrels that I have since released back into the wild. And it's just never a dull moment in my house. So I also am a learning addict and a recovering alcoholic. I love to learn. I am reading all the time. My goal last year was a book a week, which I didn't quite make, but this year I am on track to doing that. So I'm excited about that. And recovering alcoholic, I just looked today actually, so I could tell you, but I have 2 years, 3 months, and 11 days today from alcohol. So yay me. And it wasn't always like this. I don't remember most of my 20s due to alcoholism. And because of that, it makes me sad. I have a degree in fine art and business, but it took me 14 years to get it. I was homeless, living on a park bench in St. Paul, which was obviously not a highlight of my life. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do in life truly until a little over a year ago at 36 years of age, because I worked 23 years in restaurants. And, I honestly thought that was my lot in life, was to be a server or whatever part of the restaurant I was working in that day. And now I am very happy with how my life has gone so far. So, uncovering the 5 steps: how I 10x'd my savings in under a year without making 7 figures or knowing bank lingo or being good with numbers. And key number 1: becoming aligned with why you spend over save and how to switch that. This is essential for your growth because it clarifies your values, what is important to you, because that really cute outfit or disc golfing set, that might not align with your values in the end. So, what is promoting conscious spending? If you're aligned again with those values, you're going to know what you want to spend your money on and where you want your money to go. So, and with all that being said, if you're consciously spending due to your values, you're reducing the need for emotional spending because you realize that buying fill in the blank is not going to fill whatever that hole is that is there for you. And you will never grow a savings account without being aligned with your spending habits. If you are spending, 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 and you have no rhyme or reason behind it, you will never grow a savings account. That is why it has not worked for you up until now. And maybe, you can save a little bit, but then it all either gets spent or there's an emergency. And I mean, we can't avoid emergencies, but we can avoid how we spend that money that we have for the emergency. So, and becoming aligned allows you to accept that you can't spend if you don't want to save. or you can't spend if you want to save. And I mean, that should be common sense. If you want to save money, you can't just go out and spend it all. But, sometimes we need to be reminded of that. Show up for yourself consistently, powerfully, and prioritize saving over spending. Again, if you want to save, you need to make sure that you are sticking to your budget and writing everything down and just making sure that you're keeping track of all of that. Catch when your thoughts go to shopping mode and be able to reel it back in. Sometimes I catch myself on Amazon just hitting add to cart like 75 different things, and I have to reel myself back in, realize that that is not what I want my money to go to. It's so weird because I now, when I put money into my high yielding savings account and seeing those compound interest payments come in, it is so amazing. So when you're aligned with your spending, you're not going to want to buy useless stuff anymore. You're going to automatically switch your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You're going to realize how much money you have because people are like, oh, I don't have the money for that. Well, if you're constantly spending 25 here, 10 here, 30 here, you end up having a lot more money than you think you do. You're going to feel proud of yourself. It is remarkable of the amount of pride, like good pride, you can feel in yourself when you start accomplishing your goals. And if one of your goals is to save, it's amazing the feeling that you get in yourself of rewarding yourself when you start saving and knowing that you can do everything that you actually put your mind to. And that's something that is remarkable. So, when you're not committed to savings, you'll stress over unnecessary situations, just like if you don't have that emergency fund and an emergency pops up. Well, it's kind of difficult, I mean, you're going to stress over that. So, and even if you don't have an emergency pop up, just the thought of having one and you don't have the savings for it can be very stressful. You'll worry about possible emergencies popping up because, I mean, they do. That's why it's an emergency. You don't plan for it. You'll end up with nothing to show for your hard work because if you're working endless hours and you just go shop and spend all your money, well, what was the point of all that hard work and everything that you just put in? And you'll always feel unfulfilled because I've said it so many times, money can't buy happiness. It won't fill that hole that you're trying to fill. And as soon as you realize that and realize that savings is the only way to get there, you will eventually, it's amazing how your mindset changes to being fulfilled. So here's how to become more aligned. Instant gratification versus delayed rewards. So, I mean, we live in a society that everyone needs everything right now. Look at, even like I gave the idea of Amazon. Well, you can add it to your cart or buy now. There's McDonald's. There's watching 75 billion TV shows and movies at the click of a button, where everyone wants that versus the delayed rewards of what just happened. There we go. Versus the delayed rewards of a savings account that has the high yield in it of, say, mine is 5.94% right now. And I get that delayed reward of that yield coming to me, or becoming aligned with lack of clear financial goals. So if you don't know where you, pardon me, where you want to go in life, if you don't know where you want your financial goals to go in life, you can't get there. Like I went on a 4,000-mile road trip this last summer, and the turnaround spot was Las Vegas. Well, if I didn't have a clear goal on how I was getting there, when I would be there, and everything else, well, I probably would have ended up in Maine or something. I mean, let's be real, I don't have that bad of directional clarity, but I'm probably giving myself more credit than is due. But if without the clear goals, it's you can't accomplish a goal without a clear, we'll just say that. And social and peer influences, because let's be real, if you go out to eat with a bunch of friends and they're all drinking and getting expensive stuff, you want to be right there with them. People want to buy the next best thing because their friend did, or they want to show off to their friends. And you need to have, again, the financial goals and the know about the delayed rewards to be able to overcome that. And it's another thing that I can relate to being in recovery from alcohol is the peer pressure and social peer pressure or social pressure and just everyone's advocating for the next best thing of everything, and it's discouraging. So here's where you're going to get stuck, just like everything else I said. So you think because something's on sale, it's okay to buy. I mean, you're saving money, right? But I mean, unless you actually went there for that specific thing, then you're not saving money. You buy and buy and buy, and nothing's making you feel better inside because, again, money can't buy happiness. You tell yourself that you need fill in the blank to feel better, whether it be a candy bar or, a new sports car. So you only buy things that you have a coupon for. Okay, that's great. That is a good thing. But if you're going through and cutting out coupons for stuff that sounds like a good idea, but you weren't going to buy it in the first place, then that's unnecessary buying. So, my success story with um, being aligned is I came out of my last relapse, which again was 10/21/21, with a woe is me mindset and quickly learned that it wasn't benefiting me to think that way. Because, I mean, when you think the world is against you and your life sucks, then everything is going to be against you and your life is going to suck because misery loves company. But so does great things. Great things love company too. And I was able to pay off over $13,000 in debt in just 10 months once I started implementing these keys. So once I realized that my mindset was what was holding me back in the beginning and what changing it could really do. So this is why aligning with why you spend instead of save and learning to switch that is non-negotiable, because it is a non-negotiable. If you just don't think about it and you just spend, then you're always going to be in a scarcity mindset or situation, even if your bank account, or rather your income, says differently. So, key number two, get out of your own way. So many of us need to have this key, even if you don't have financial issues. So, stand strong in what you want, because if you take my life, for example, sometimes I can get in my own way and I have to remind myself of what I want in my end game. Tell yourself daily what you want. I wake up every day. I thank God that I am blessed and I woke up again, because there are so many days that I honestly shouldn't have. And I tell myself daily my daily goals and my end game goals, and show yourself what you want. So I have post-it notes disgustingly everywhere in my house of written things of my goals and aspirations for myself. And I mean, that's just one of the steps. So when you put reason behind you, the possibilities are endless, meaning you nothing in your future is preset. Like everything is a new opportunity. You have not experienced it. That's why when people say, I can't do fill in the blank, well, yes, you can. Just because your past says you can't doesn't mean your future says you can't. So when you get out of your own way, you'll realize why nothing worked in the past, because you always were in that mindset that the past defines my life, but it doesn't. And when you get out of your own way, you'll save with ease because you realize the steps that it takes to save are not that difficult. They're not necessarily easy, but they are simple. And you'll learn to trust yourself because the only person that is constantly around you is you. And you're the only person in the entire world who has ever heard every single lie that you have told. And I mean, if you're constantly lying to yourself, saying things like, I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning and go work out, but then you don't, you hit snooze 75 times. Well, that is you training you that you are a liar. And unfortunately, there's so many people that it's not even like that big of an excuse. It's just, or yeah, but like just little things. You need to learn to trust yourself. But if you can't get out of your own way, making money or more money won't produce results. The more income you have, if you have issues with spending and getting out of your own way, that doesn't mean anything. Like if you make more money, you're going to spend more and you'll continue to overspend and not save because you don't have those initial steps in place of learning how to save. You'll always struggle to have enough money for an emergency. Again, emergencies pop up out of nowhere, they are not planned, but you can plan for how you take care of them. So it's essential to keep track of your budget. You know, in the beginning, I needed to keep track down to the penny for my budget. And it was beneficial. I mean, it was tedious and annoying, and I some days wanted to rip my hair out, but it is one of the steps that got me through. And I am big on limiting beliefs. You need to reframe your thoughts towards money. That means if, again, you think that because you've never had money, that you will never have money, then you won't have money. And it's just the power that is in your brain because when you change your mindset that you will have money, it comes to you out of the most miraculous places. And it's insane. And you have to flip the script, meaning, again, with the limiting beliefs, that if you constantly are telling yourself that I can't do something, you need to flip the script and tell yourself that you can. If you say, I can't get out of bed in the morning at 5 a.m., you need to do that. You need to change that mindset about yourself and realize that you can do anything that you put your mind to. And it's really not that difficult. Here's where you get stuck. You think to yourself, yeah, I already know this stuff. Okay, that's fine. Lots of people have told us this, right? Honestly, I'm not saying anything new here that I hadn't heard before this. And I don't know if you've heard this or not, but you're right. Like, you already know this. So why aren't you implementing it? You don't focus on your end game and goals. So a lot of people have blinders on when it comes to end game and goals, thinking, oh, retirement, that's in 30 years. I don't need to think about that. Okay, but if you're not preparing now for that, then when are you? You don't ask for help. That is one of the biggest problems because you don't know what you don't know. If you don't ask for help, you're not going to learn. And I mean, you can read all the self help books and all of that, but there's a process that asking a actual person and getting feedback right then can help and aid in this situation you're going through. So, my success story with getting out of my own way is that I learned to let God do the heavy lifting. I realized that he provides in ways I didn't see and I had to learn to do that. I am not religious. I am Christian and like all my life I grew up knowing that God was in control, but I was not about to actually believe that or implement that. And since I've done this, it's amazing. And I realized that as long as I was doing the work, it was going to work. And it just made life easier because if you are constantly working towards the next best thing, it is going to work. If you give up, then it stops. And if you can't get out of your own way, you'll never create the savings account that you need. And that might be harsh to hear, but it's true because, I mean, if you don't have the savings account now that you want, what's stopping you from having, or rather, if you don't have the savings account you want now, why aren't you implementing what you could learn for the future? Like, again, ask for help. So that brings us into key number three. Why so many millennials think savings and emergency funds are pipe dreams. Without an emergency fund or savings account, you'll always be stressed. Again, even if the emergency isn't popping up, it's the fact that it could, and you're going to be stressed about that. We're not taught to save. Unless you're going to school specifically for finances, we are not taught finances. And even with my business degree, I learned about supply and demand. I learned about other things, but never specifically finances. And consumerism is how the economy goes around. So you need to find the right balance. And unfortunately, I mean, it's never going away. You absolutely must contribute consistently to your savings each month, whether that be $10 or $1,000 a month. But you need to get in that habit of consistently saving. And just like this, if it's 50, if it's 25, if it's 5, you can always, if you can't this month, you can double it up next month. But you want to make sure that you are adding something. And when you consistently save, compound interest adds up. It becomes easier to allow for that money out of your budget. If you don't even see it, if it automatically comes out of your paycheck or you just automatically transfer it, then you don't even really feel like you had it. So you just allow for that money then. You'll learn to trust yourself, like I said, with the lying to yourself. Once you start doing this, then you're building up that reliability in yourself. You'll have more confidence, you'll be happier, and you'll have less stress. Because, let's be real. Who doesn't want less stress? I don't wake up being like, ooh, I wonder what stressful thing I could do that will make me unhappy today and ruin my confidence. I mean, I don't know about you, but that's not my morning. If you consistently brush off savings, you'll be screwed if an emergency happens. Your stress will worsen. Your quality of life will be reduced. You'll have missed opportunities for generational wealth because just like with the high yielding savings account and compound interest, if you're not consistently saving and putting into like an IRA, whether it be traditional or Roth, then that generational wealth is not there. And the longer you wait to start saving or start a retirement account, you are losing free money. If you do it right, you'll live comfortably with less stress. Your children and grandchildren will hopefully never know financial hardship. You'll be able to retire at the age you want to, either whether that be earlier or later than the stereotypical, let's say 65, but it'll be on your time because you wanted to. If you feel stuck in growing your savings, you're not staying consistent, you're living above your means. Are you fearing failure or even, fear of success is a thing. You fear that you will succeed and you won't know what to do with it. You have a scarcity mindset and fear not having enough for everyday expenses because life is getting expensive and unfortunately our incomes are not showing it. So, and my success story, I mean, if you aren't aware by now, I'm in recovery from drugs and alcohol. And one thing I do each month, and I have since I first started this journey, is to take a portion of that 620 that I was spending on alcohol every month, which was about $20 a day for a bottle, and put it towards my savings. I mean, I was spending that before. So then coming into sobriety, it was not something I really had to think about. And it's just something like that. And people tell you, oh, if you put this money towards a savings account, meaning like if you were a smoker or if you drink or go out partying every weekend, like put that money towards something that actually is going to benefit you. And if you can't save when your income is smaller, you'll never save when it grows. Like I said before, that if you're using the excuse, oh, I'll start saving when I make more money, you're not going to. It's easier to do when it's smaller because then you're getting used to even just smaller amounts. Where when, and you're used to the smaller income, so you don't have that money coming in that you're like, oh, I could go buy a new car if you're all of a sudden making $500,000 a year or something. But if you're making $500,000 a year, there are still people out there that are living paycheck to paycheck, making 500,000 and more a month or a year. And it's just, it's not fair to you. And key number four, building a fun financial lifestyle. So having fun on a budget can be an experience too. I mean, I am huge into hiking and going to national and state parks, and that's free. I mean, you have to pay for the park admittance, but fun doesn't have to mean going out every weekend and spending $500. I mean, $500 a time is a lot, but if you're doing it every weekend, which really isn't that much booze, and you think about it, if you go downtown Minneapolis every weekend, think how much you're spending in booze, in parking, in admittance to whatever bar or club you're going to, if they even have clubs anymore. I don't know. It's been a decade since I've been downtown Minneapolis, but it's just, it adds up. And knowing when to listen to your gut. Your gut is the biggest thing to listen to because it knows, like I know not everyone believes in God, but I believe my gut is the Holy Spirit, and I listen to it. I listened to it when my gut told me to quit my $80,000 a year job to pursue this, and I am stressed, but I love it and I would never go about any other way. And I find fun in doing financial coaching. But if you continue to throw money at fun things like going to the bar every night or every weekend, you'll always struggle in your bank account. A fun, financial focused lifestyle helps you to have fun in ways that doesn't make you go broke. Like I said, there are plenty of things that are free or near free that we can do. You want to be rich, not just look it. Save for a lifetime of possibilities. Again, that's, you save now to be able to live that lifestyle that you want to later on. And if you fail at giving up the fun lifestyle, you'll always be broke. You'll always be stressed. The people around you most likely only care about the money, because if you stop spending money on your friends or whoever, they stop coming around, which is, let's be honest, shitty. But those aren't the kind of people you want in your life. If you stop spending money and you lose friends, those are not the people that you want to have a relationship with of any kind. And the painful cycle of scarcity, fear, and worry will perpetuate, and it's just going to escalate to an imaginable pain. So, learning to have fun on a budget. It strengthens the relationships. That's where I was talking about, if you're spending money and people are only there because of that, you don't want those people. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship it is. Learning to have fun on a budget improves budgeting because you realize that your money is going somewhere that you know exactly where it's going. You're not getting drunk and blacking out and realizing the next morning, like, oh, I spent way too much money. It encourages healthier habits, like thinking about if you stopped smoking, where that money could go, or healthier habits, healthier eating, because going out to eat every night of the week is not healthy. Because even like the restaurant that I pick up shifts at, I mean, yeah, everything is homemade there, Like everything, all the sauces and everything are made from scratch, but it's still not healthy and helps break consumerism because I mean, again, consumerism makes the world go round, but it doesn't benefit us. Like, I mean, it does, but it doesn't. And reality check, gaps are everywhere in your journey to or okay, I'm not understanding at the moment what I wrote here, but you can have a financial journey on a budget that is still it's good. And I mean, it'll cut down on financial strain, limiting savings and gaps if you don't have fun on a budget or do the budgeting fun impact on your mental well-being because again, finances are the number one stressor in life. It doesn't matter what, but finances, whether you have too much or too little, can cause your mental well being to deteriorate. Stress on relationships, finances are also the number one cause of divorce. So, I mean, you can go through that hardship too, and limited career flexibility because if you're constantly worrying about needing that promotion or raise, like it's going to limit how you're feeling. So my success story about this just keeps seeming to revolve around getting sober. Because when I got sober, it saved me a ton of money. Like I said, that I put in 620 towards my savings account and Roth IRA because that already was going out every month. But I mean, even if we went to a local bar to drink, we are still looking at $100 a night, which we did that multiple times a week. So that adds up quickly. Since I got sober, I love going hiking and being in nature, going to national parks. Like I said, it does cost, but it's $80 for the America the Beautiful year pass. And it's one of our go-tos now. And we used that, I think, 12 different parks this last summer when we did the road trip. So, I mean, it definitely pays for itself in a while because like one visit is like 12 or $15. And just because you're not spending thousands of dollars on going out to eat, drinking, shopping, or other expensive extracurriculars doesn't mean you can't enjoy your life on a budget. So that brings me to my last key, which is investing in a coach. Number one's, it brings you to accountability. And you know what? If you don't have someone, I mean, essentially kind of holding your hand, then it might be difficult to actually stick to the plan and the goals and all that. And just new eyes on the situation. Because when you're in it, it's hard to see outside. I mean, if you're trying to get around a boulder and you can't see that other side, then most people just give up. So if you haven't done it by now, statistically, you won't. You're probably not going to save. And I mean, it pains me to say that, but if you have not started saving at this point in your life, I mean, I aim towards millennials, but I've coached people in their 60s, I've coached people in their 20s, and I've talked to my clients that are in their 60s and I ask them, what has stopped you? And usually it's that I don't want to, I don't know how to, no one ever taught me. So it is your time and you need someone in your corner so that you can get clarity on financial goals. Because, like I said, if you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're going. You don't know what you don't know. To identify and overcome limiting beliefs. Because if you think that you're going to be out of money for the rest of your life, then you probably are going to be. That's why you need to identify and start overcoming that. You need a personalized financial strategy, and I do that in my course with you to keep you accountable and motivated. Because if you're not accounted and motivated, if you lose that motivation, well, that's the death of success. You need help to change behaviors because those spending habits are very difficult. to change. If you, on your way to work every day, you stop at Caribou or Starbucks and get a $8 coffee, that is difficult to get out of your mind. And to teach you budgeting and money management skills, if you, I mean, everyone knows about budgets, let's be honest, but how many people actually sit down and budget and stick to it? That is the implementing and staying accountable for that. So when you find a great coach and or mentor, so a good mentor helps you navigate your path, offers guidance and strategies, and keeps you accountable. But a great mentor will always bring together a group of entrepreneurs and everyone else to multiply everyone's success. And this is my coach, Nicole. She's my business coach and marketing coach. And without her, I would have been lost, and I have been lost. So if you try to go it alone, you'll spend needless time guessing about how to get results because it, again, look at the past. You haven't done it yet. So you need someone in your corner rooting for you. You'll lose money and interest. Like I said earlier, that if you, the sooner you get started saving, no matter what that amount, if it's 10, 20, $100 a month, you're gaining interest on that the second you put that in there. So the longer you wait, you are losing free money. You may even give up on the savings and your dreams or goals that would have come from accomplishing them. Because I mean, if you are saving to take your kids to Disney World, or if you want to start saving to take your kids to Disney World, and you get frustrated and all of that, just like you have in the past, then you're probably going to fall on your face and you won't accomplish the goals. And then everyone feels let down, especially you. And I don't want that. I love seeing people succeed. And I mean, ultimately, you're going to lose the belief that achieving 10x levels of growth in your savings is even possible for you. Because again, the discouragement and feeling like a failure and thinking that you're lying to yourself when you think you can, or tell yourself that you can do that. Now, if you don't make a change, when will you? Because I mean, if you haven't by now, what's, why? What is going to get you to change? Today, I promised that I would tell you my keys to growing both a savings account and a financial mindset that will get you 10x financial growth in 12 months. The biggest mistakes millennials make when growing their savings. How my step 4 helps you stress less so you can shop without restriction. You'll understand why it's vital to get clear on precisely what you want in your savings and how to talk about it in a way that magnetically attracts your dream finances. Because again, those limiting beliefs, which are little assholes, if you're telling yourself that you can't do something, well, you're not going to. Just like Henry Ford, whether you tell yourself you can or you can't, you're right. You tell yourself you can't 10x your savings, well, you're not going to. So you'll stop wondering if saving is possible and start making it all happen. I promised that I would show you what you need to do that feels aligned and intuitive to you, and that I'd show you how it actually is easy to 10x while stressing less. Again, not simple, but it's easy. Or opposite. It's simple, but it's not easy. Here we go. Sorry. Because finances aren't stressful and confusing enough. So, what you need to succeed, becoming aligned with why you spend over save, getting out of your own way, why so many millennials think savings and emergency funds are not for them and they're stupid and pipe dreams, how you still have, or how you can still have the fun lifestyle. And you need to invest in a mentor because you can't do it on your own. I mean, if you could, let's be honest, you probably wouldn't be here. So if you implement these steps, you'll reduce financial stress, and ultimately you're going to reduce all stress because finances, unfortunately, are connected with life. I mean, you can't escape finances. You're going to develop compound growth Like I said, with the compound interest, you are going to get free money and enhancing your financial well-being. I mean, if you think that your finances are scary, if you believe that money is the root of all evil, well, that's not healthy. So you need to switch the script on that. And when you actually believe that money is good and can be good and is a route to being good, well, then that's going to instill inside of you that finances are good. And it's crazy how it'll actually attract you then. So, if you implement these steps, you'll reduce reliance on your credit cards, which let's be real, credit is kind of the devil. But again, I mean, my second course is or my tier 3 course is about investing and wealth growth and just generational wealth, and unfortunately, credit is part of that. So, you can't tax debt. But that's again, whole nother thing. And I mean, it's not only an emergency fund, but an opportunity fund because I mean, once you get that emergency fund past that emergency like line, then the opportunities that that money could give to you in the future are endless. Now it's time for you to choose which path are you going to go? And how I can support you today. So let's get on a 45-minute breakthrough session. In that, we're going to uncover what's not working and why in your finances. We're going to go over how the money mindset reset can get you on the correct financial path. Hopefully, that's the path that you picked. And if it seems like a fit from the conversation, then I may invite you to be one of my clients to bring on this month in my money mindset reset course, as I only have a few select spots because I do a lot of personalized work with my clients. So I unfortunately can't take on too many clients because there's just not enough time in the day. And this is for serious millennials who are committed to doing the work to hit your savings goals. Because if you're not committed, then that's going to be number one for why this won't work. If you get discouraged at every little thing or you are Debbie Downer, I can't work with that. I need some help to get you to where you want to go. Like, I mean, I'm helping you from essentially ground zero, but you need to have some foundation built. I mean, we go over and build foundation, but you need some of that foundation to begin with. So this is also for those who just need something new. Like I said, new eyes, because you can't see it when you're in it. It's for millennials who desire to create a time leveraged, financially abundant savings account. Because if you don't start now, you're not going to. And the sooner you start, the more free money you get. And if you resonated with my message this whole time, oh, who this is not for. If you are looking for someone to do the work and those who make excuses, because again, if you're making excuses, I can't help you. Unfortunately, we're all adults. I know, scary concept. But I mean, if you want me to do the work, this is not high school. I am not one of those nerdy kids that I do your homework and turn it in for you. You need to do it. I am not here to hold your hand 24 hours. Even if someone paid me a ridiculous amount, I don't think I would follow them around and smack the credit card out of their hands. So, with that being said, no whiners, complainers, or blamers. If you are blaming things on you and not taking accountability for why you are in the situation that you are, I can't help you. For those who are more interested in fads or getting rich quick schemes than real transformation, again, going back to instant gratification versus the delayed rewards. Because I mean, that instant gratification, yeah, that's that nice little dopamine high, but the rewards of delayed rewards, that is where the real transformation lies. So, the reason I do this, I want to experience the true freedom financial security can provide. for you, because I know this is I've essentially gone through my course twice now because, like I said, coming out of my relapse, I gained $13,000 in credit card debt and I was debt free within 10 months. And then last year, I ended up being another $20,000 in debt. And in less than a year, again, I am now back to being debt free. And you might be like, oh, she's a financial coach and she was in debt. Yes, because I did not follow my own advice at that moment. I was not implementing my own coursework. So, you know what? Even a financial expert can fall and falter. I want to help you make the greatest impact because you know what? People say that their life doesn't mean anything or it's only people with money who can make a difference. Well, guess what? If you learn this, if you take this course, then you are one of those people with money. You can make a difference. And that is one of my goals in life is to leave a lasting impact on the world. I want it to be better than when I came into it. I want you to stop feeling like you're killing yourself by stressing about savings because, again, finances are number one stressor and emergency funds are scary and savings is scary, but it's far scarier to not have the savings. I want you to stop doing all the things and focus on what works. So if you are the master of all things, but not really. When you, I mean, my ADD some days is, let me tell you, hell. But when I sit down and focus on one thing, that's when stuff gets done. So if you're constantly doing all the things, if you're trying to listen to all those gurus, which again, one says one thing, one says another, then you're going to fail because it's not all the things, it's one thing. And if you allow me to support you, you'll experience massive personal and professional growth. You'll achieve tangible results in your first few weeks. I just launched my revamped course last week, and one of my clients, she has already exponentially grown just in the last 10 days since she started. You'll be held accountable for doing the work that creates the results because, I mean, while I'm not going to hold your hand, I am going to treat you like an adult and hold you accountable. You'll receive full support and feedback so you're not trying to figure it out all alone. I mean, if you're in my course, then you have full access to me. I might not always respond right away, but you don't have to be on your own and figuring it out. So schedule your 45-minute breakthrough session because let's be real, space is limited, like I said, and I only allow for 2 calls a day. So I want you to get on my schedule. I will post the link to hold on, let's see here. So, okay, now we're back to, there it is. So post for that and schedule the 45 minutes because strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. Napoleon Hill said that. If you don't know who Napoleon Hill is, he's an excellent author. You should definitely look him up. I suggest his book in my course. And that is all I have for you today. So hopefully you learned a lot. I know I did. Just kidding. Since I created it, I know it. But I would love to hear you on a 45-minute call with me. So click the link and I will hopefully talk to you very soon. You have a wonderful rest of your evening.